Right. Good evening, everybody. I will call the meeting to order. We will start the meeting before we do the flag salute. We will start with our land acknowledgement statement. We acknowledge that the Franklin-McKinley School District and our schools are located in the Muwekma Ohlone Nation, the sovereign nation and original people of the skies, land, and waters where we learn and work. The Muwekma Ohlone people are the stewards of these lands and of the teaching and learning that comes from and responds to the needs of the land and people who share it. May our daily lives and work, learning, teaching, and community engagement support the evolving vision of the Muwekma Ohlone for their community and these lands. And welcome everybody. And we will begin our meeting with the flag salute. And this evening we have the honor of having Chiricahua School conduct our flag salute. So you may proceed.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please stand and remove your hats for the presentation of the colors? Color guard, please advance.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag and the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Prepare to post the colors. Post the colors. Color guard dismissed.
Thank you. Please be seated. My name is Nicole Kizo, and I am accompanied today by both my parents, Vera and John Ordonez.
My name is Jimena Zamora, and I am accompanied by my sister Carla and my dad, Carlos Zamora.
My name is Giovanni Farias, and I'm accompanied by my parents, Rogelio and Rachel Farias. My name is Daniel Chavero, and I am accompanied by both my parents, Guillermo Chavero and Ana Chavero.
My name is Jacqueline Gallegos, and I am accompanied here by my father, Miguel Gallegos.
Give another round of applause. So great job, Chiricahua. We'll move on to item 3.03, approve, disapprove additions to the agenda. Are there any by the board? Seeing none, we'll move on to item 3.04, approve, disapprove order of the agenda. Is there any by the board? None? Okay. We'll move on to item 3.05, report of action taken in closed session.
The board, and a vote of 4-0, approve the closed session minutes of February 14, 2023. There are no other actions to report.
Thank you, Superintendent Cruz. Next item, under item 4, which is always the best time of the year that I enjoy is our recognitions. And we will start with the Global Learners Student Recognition. Superintendent Cruz.
Yes, thank you. I also look forward to this board meeting where we can have the opportunity to recognize and celebrate our wonderful students and staff. We have tremendous students and staff out there every day putting in the work and making us proud of the achievement. And so today we get to recognize some students and some staff. We're going to start with the students first, and they're being recognized for their achievement, their leadership, and their citizenship. And so they are examples of students that are putting in a great effort in meeting these areas of recognition under the Global Learner category. So when you hear your name come up, and we are going to ask the board to come up and stand in front here so that we can congratulate you and honor you. So as we get started, I also want to congratulate the parents and the family members here that are here to help us celebrate the achievements of the students, as well as the staff that are here to again celebrate their accomplishments. So we're going to start off with students from Bridges Academy on Ha. Mr. Ibaka, would you like to? For College Connection Academy, Ashley Moreno. From Captain Jason Dahl, Evelyn Negrete. From Franklin, Abby Lee. From Hellier, Ni Win. From Kennedy, Alyssa Win. From Lerone Academy, Angel Franco. From Los Árboles, Yahaira Hernández Rodríguez. From McKinley, Sofía Munguía Martínez. From Meadows, Juan Bustos. From Ramblewood, Anita Trung. From Santee, Stephanie Macias Tamayo. From Shirakawa, Lena Trin. From Stonegate, Sigaral Octavian Ian. From Silverdale, Ethan Wynn. From Windmill Springs, Tyson No. I'm gonna have to get some dressing pointers from this young man. Let's give them one big round of applause. All right, we'll move on to our recognizing our staff. And our staff are recognized on various categories: student focus, partnership, integrity, respect, innovation, and teamwork. So we're going to start off with core value of student focus. And we would like to recognize Miley Tai from Franklin. Got a fan. I think all of Franklin is here today. Under the core value of partnership, Daisy Barranza from Franklin. Under the core value of integrity, Joyce Carpenato from the district office. Under the core value of respect, Israel Velasquez from Bridges Academy. Under the core value of innovation, Zachary Lockley from College Connection Academy. And under the core value of teamwork, Monty Gardner from Ramblewood. The principal will. All right, let's give them all a big round of applause. So, Board President, is it okay if we take about a 5-minute break? Well, thank you. Thank you all for coming out tonight, and congratulations to all the students, the staff, and certainly the staff members that are here celebrating everyone. Thank you for coming out, and also the parents. We're going to take a 5-minute break.
All right, we'll go ahead and start the meeting. We're glad many people stayed. Okay. We are now on agenda item number 5, oral communications. Members of the public may address the board on any issue within subject matter jurisdiction of the board or agenda items. Members of the public may also address the board on consent items before the board's consideration of the items. In accordance with the board bylaw 9323, individual remarks will be limited to 3 minutes each unless otherwise stipulated. No action can be taken on any agenda item at this time. Questions may be referred to the administration or put on a future agenda. So we are at oral communications. Do we have any? I don't think anybody signed up. And there's nobody in the room, so we'll move on. Can we get the door shut in the back, please? That way we can. Okay, next on the agenda are items 6, 7, and 8, which are our consent items. Well, actually 6 and 7, and then we have construction items, which are also consent. Do we have any items that the board would like to pull from the consent items? None? Seeing none, we will move on. Okay, so members of the public may address the board on consent items before the board's consideration of the items. In accordance with board bylaws 9323, individual remarks will be limited to 3 minutes each unless otherwise stipulated. So is there anyone from the audience who would like to speak on consent items under 6, 7, and 8? Seeing none, we will proceed to for approval. So I will accept a motion under consent item number 6. I'll accept a motion when the board's ready.
I motion to approve 6.01. Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve consent item 6.01. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And the motion carries unanimous. Consent item 7.01. I'll accept a motion to approve that consent item.
I'd like to make a motion to approve item 7.01, consent to purchase 500 Chromebooks for student use via a CMAS contract.
Is there a second? Been moved and seconded to approve consent item 7.01. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And the motion passes unanimous. Construction items. I'll accept a motion under construction items.
I'd like to move for approval of construction items 8.01 and 8.02.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve consent items 8.01 and 8.02. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion carries unanimous. Okay, item 9.01, the January 24th, 2023 open session board minutes. And the board has had an opportunity to review those. So I will accept a motion when the board is ready.
I motion to approve 9.01, the open session board meetings from January 24th, 2020.
Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the January 24th, 2023 open session board minutes. All those in favor say aye. And the motion carries unanimous. Okay, item 9.02, the February 14th, 2023 open session minutes. I'll accept a motion on those since the board has had an opportunity to read those already, unless there's any correction.
I move to accept agenda item 9.02 written.
Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the item 9.02, February 14th, 2023 open session minutes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And the motion carries unanimous. The personnel report, Mr. Vice President.
Yes, I'll make a motion on item 9.03 to approve the personnel report as submitted, and that the employment for the following employee be approved. Emily Casillas, noon duty supervisor at Franklin School, effective February 27th, 2023. And B, the resignation for the following employees be approved. Marie Park, a teacher, STC, Dahl, effective June 16th, 2023. Henry De Leon, custodian at McKinley, effective March 31st, 2023. And Elizabeth Ramirez, a noon duty supervisor at Shirakawa, effective February 16th, 2023.
Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the personnel report and the addendum as submitted or as read. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And the motion carries unanimous. Okay, item 9.04, 2022-2023 action item of declaration of surplus and obsolete network technology equipment. Jason.
Yes, and I'm going to hand this off to Stammer, our Director of IT, to talk about this particular item.
Good evening, board. So this item that we bring to you guys is basically old broken equipment and AeroHive equipment, network equipment that as we've been upgrading our network throughout the entire sites, these have been spare. So we're proposing that we post them on Gov Deals and see what we can get out of them, pretty much.
Any questions from the board? Seeing none, I will accept the motion if the board is ready.
I move to accept agenda 9.04 as read.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve item 9.04, 2022-2023 action item of declaration of surplus and obsolete network technology equipment. All those in favor say aye. And the motion carries unanimous. Item 9.05, resolution number 2023-03, celebrating the life and legacy of Cesar Eve Chavez. Superintendent Cruz.
Yes, this is our annual resolution that we bring forward to the board in recognition of the contributions and that Cesar Chavez had our community as well as the community of the farm workers. And so we bring this forward for your consideration.
Okay. Any questions or comments from board members?
Just a comment that I'm glad we're moving forward with this resolution. And just to say that proud that I did get a chance to meet Cesar Chavez. He was went to Salinas a few times. I'm from, and got a chance to hear him speak. Very articulate individual, very smart, sharp, and left a legacy of work that he did, especially with the farm workers, and not only in California but other states as well. And so proud to go ahead and support this resolution. And also want to say on a personal note, I knew I know his sister Rita Medina, and Rita's in her 90s now, but she's still very active. She still very much contributes to his legacy now with the different things that they do with Cesar, including the upcoming I think breakfast or luncheon that they're having on March 31st. So I worked with Rita at Sears when she was there worked there, and I worked there, and so got to know her. So I would ask her about Cesar every once in a while, where he was, where is he today? Rita, and she'd go, oh, he's in New Mexico or Arizona, But that was kind of nice to have that relationship with her. But anyway, those are just my brief comments. That's it.
Okay. Any other comments or questions from the board? Okay. I just want to add with Trustee Sanchez that I also had the opportunity to meet him as a child. I was under 10 years old. And he was marching through the Central Valley, and I was born in Modesto. So that's where, historically I saw him at a rally there, and it was quite an experience. I didn't know exactly what it was. I was so young, but later on I knew who he was and what it was about. And I'll be proud to be attending the 25th anniversary of the foundation celebration at the end of March. And I'm proud that our district has has made a decision to purchase the table for the event. So thank you, Superintendent Cruz. Any other comment, question? Seeing none, I'll accept a motion on this.
I move to accept agenda item 9.05 that the Board of Education to adopt resolution celebrating the life and legacy of Cesar Chavez.
There a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept resolution number 2023-03 celebrating the life of and legacy of Cesar E. Chavez. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And the motion carries unanimous. Resolution item 9.06, resolution number 2023-04, Women's History Month. Lieutenant Cruz.
Yes, again, this is our annual resolution that bring forward and recognizing March as Women's History Month. And so we bring this for your consideration.
Any questions or comments from the board?
Yes, I would like to make a motion to table this until the next board meeting. And the reason, if I'd like to give the reason, is I've spoken to several community members in the last few days, and they're not here right now, and they would like the opportunity to ask questions and make comments about this declaration. I see this declaration comes from the top down, from us, and not from the community. So I think it's only fair that we give the community ample time to respond to this, because as we know, this was just presented to us Friday afternoon notes as required. Superintendent Cruz said 72 hours prior notice. But just as of today, I'll give a short example. Is just this afternoon, janitor at my school, Willow Glen High School, he said she found out about this and she's appalled and she would like to give her comments.
Okay.
And so I would like to make the motion, we table this for the next board meeting.
Okay, so there's been a motion to table this. Is there a second? Seeing none, the motion dies. Any other questions or comments from the board? There aren't
Well,
any. I will accept another motion.
But if that was the case, then I would like to make comments if it's not going to be tabled, since we do represent
Okay.
the public.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. I see this resolution is to change the spelling of Women's History Month, and I appreciate and I believe the constituency and the parents also appreciate that we're trying to include, as I can read the notes, that we're trying to print it up here, to include from grades 6 through 12 to change the spelling of women to women X, substitute the E for, and basically get rid of the word woman or women, and to promote inclusivity of trans and non-binary women X with an X, to avoid sexism perceived in sequences men. I'm not saying, and from the constituency that I've spoken to just recently about this, but also before I became a trustee, that they would like transparency. They would like to have this, to be able to make decisions like this, be able to have their voice heard. But it's not about inclusivity, about having, whether we say boys bathroom, girls bathroom, women X, whatever. What I've heard and what was just declared to me today, just as recently as like 2 hours ago before I came here, 3 hours ago, was what's next? They can change boys X. They can change girls to girls X. Or so it's not. So if we're not going to table this and allow the public, the parents, to come and have their voices, at least I can speak up for the ones who made that. And if you, as trustee members, don't want to honor the parents who put us here and we represent, well, I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry, because I thought that's what we do as board members. We represent the public, the parents, people who have a say in this. And that concerns me. This is a top-down decision. Who proposed this? I don't know. Who is the author of this? I don't know. But I'm not willing to, because of the people that I represent, the parents who you will not give an opportunity to at least come here and speak up for their children and for their schools, the changes that we're making at their schools for their children. I think that's very unfair. I think we should consider hearing from the parents.
Okay, any other comments or questions from the board?
Yes, just to make clear that the public knows that in the comments on the agenda, it does read to increase consciousness, knowledge of women's history, to take 1 month a year to remember the contributions of notable and ordinary women, in hopes that the day will soon come when it is impossible to teach or learn history without remembering these contributions, that we are creating space for our students, our teachers, and the community to be able to learn about the contributions of women. So I think that it is very important that move this forward as it was submitted by our superintendent.
And as I just looked up, excuse me, but I just looked up
Okay.
just 3
Okay.
hours ago.
Let me go ahead and interject a little bit.
Yes, please.
Where I want to avoid us having a debate and going back and forth. I appreciate your comments, but I would like to allow all the board members to speak and to provide comments, Mark. So
Thank you.
if we can give the rest of the board, then I'll give you a chance to come back and speak again. I don't want to get into a back and forth debate because that's not how board meetings should be run. Any other comments from any other board members that have yet to speak?
Well, this is something that we brought forward, and I don't know how many years it's been. Superintendent, do you recall how long we've been bringing this forward?
This would be our probably 5th year. We brought
Okay.
this forward in this way.
Yes.
So the public has had multiple opportunities to speak on this resolution this way, because it's not the first time we brought it forward.
Correct.
So it's not the first time.
And as I'm looking at the resolution and going through all the different parts, I just see it as being a very well-written resolution that really emphasizes the contributions of women in the history of our country and our state of California. And I think it's something that I feel comfortable at this point moving forward with.
And any other, Stephen, did you want to make a comment or speak or a question?
I kind of feel the same way, that I feel like it's well written. I mean, I know it is a small clause that Trustee Cooper is referring to, but majority of it looks like it reads about the contributions of women throughout our history. You know, the contribution. I know that can be looked often. Contribute males, right? In the past, I know that's something I try to really hit on in my social studies classes, right? The contribution specifically. And so I think the way that it's written is fine with me moving.
Okay, thank you. And before I give you the floor again, Trustee Cooper, I just want to mention that you mentioned that the public did not have a chance to review this and to address it. This was posted.
No,
for-
I didn't say that. I didn't.
Yeah, so it was posted in advance and every member of the public has an opportunity to review the agenda. And if they wanted to attend the meeting to speak on it, this is the time where they would come to speak on it. That's why I did not support tabling the motion, tabling this resolution. It doesn't need to be tabled because it's also been around for 5+ years. And it was rewritten with the inclusivity focus about 5 years ago. And I think that it's, I agree with the other trustees that it is appropriate and relevant to the recognizing the diversity of our women today. Any other comments?
Yes, I agree. The first half, the contributions of women has been awesome and incredible. My mom, but you know what? I'm not going to change my mom to Mom X or my grandma to and change the spelling or change the meaning to reflect it because maybe the culture today is there. Another thing is that the rest of this, whereas we're going to have 100% female feminine hygiene products in all the bathrooms, male, boys. I don't know if we're going to call them males and females anymore, but in all the bathrooms, we're going to have female hygiene products. That part is on the last page of it. This is, what does that have to do with Women's History Month? And then we're not only changing the name from Women's to Women X, and then we can't, but what's next? That's also, I feel like we're on a slippery slope. We agree to this, what's next? So, but I do object because another reason that I object to is putting female hygiene products in boys' bathrooms. That's not necessary.
Okay, I
Part of
will,
this resolution.
So it does not actually indicate that it would be in the boys' restrooms. That is now a requirement by law
Right.
that we provide feminine hygiene products in the restrooms of any schools that serve students 6 through 12. So that is actually now a requirement. When this was first brought forward, it was optional. And so because it was only for those schools that had a high percentage of students on free and reduced lunch. And so this board wanted to make sure that all our schools had that the products for our female students in their restrooms.
thank you. Any other comments from the board? Seeing none, I will accept a motion.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion on item 9.06, resolution 2023-04 on Women's History Month to move this forward.
There a second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 2023-04 Women's History Month. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Definitely not.
Okay, so the motion carries 4-0-1 or 4-1-0. Okay, item 9.07, resolution number 2023-06, delegation of authority of the Assistant Superintendent of Business Services to award bids and sign contracts. Okay, so
I'll start.
Jason?
Thank you. This item is just to provide transparency on our process that we have been utilizing as a district for a number of years now. And this is just to ensure that we don't have any construction delays or negatively impact our educational program by not being able to bring forward contracts that are awarded close to or during the summer while we're doing a lot of our main work. So we're bringing this forward just to make sure that we can move forward in the program.
Okay, any questions or comments from the board? Seeing none, I will accept a motion.
I motion to approve agenda item 9.07.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 2023-06, delegation of authority for the Assistant Superintendent of Business Services to award bids and sign contracts. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed or abstain? Sounds like the motion carries unanimous. Okay, item 9.08, resolution number 2023-07, board compensation for missed meeting for member Steven Sanchez. Superintendent?
Yes, we bring this forward as board member Steven Sanchez was out ill and for your consideration.
Any questions by the board or comments? Seeing none, I will accept a motion.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to accept resolution number 2023-07, board compensation for missed meeting for board member Steven Sanchez. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstention? None? Okay, so the motion carries unanimous. All right, item 10, communications from the superintendent.
Thank you. I got the opportunity to attend a jazz concert at Santa Clara University with 4 of our schools. That was a jazz supports Santee, Meadows, Stonegate, actually Windmill and Kennedy. So they invited students, 4th and 5th graders to this concert. And so the kids had a blast. You know, I wasn't sure how they were going to do with the jazz. I mean, it's not the most sometimes upbeat music, but they enjoyed it. Actually, I took a jazz class in college, and when the lead from the jazz band was asking questions, I couldn't figure out the answer, and the kids were, easily, getting the answers right. And so I think the kids had a really good time there. And so I want to thank San Jose Jazz for that opportunity for our students to attend this concert. This morning, I had an opportunity to read for one of our sixth grade classes at Hellier, and I want to thank Hellier and Ms. Orozco and Mr. Jacinto for hosting us there, and some very delicious meal right after that. So appreciate it, them putting together this opportunity for us to read to the students. And then on Thursday we'll be at Meadows as well, and some of the board members I know they're going to be at Franklin as well. So just looking forward to this next leg of the school year. It seems like we just started the other day and we're already about to come into March. And so it's been a real fast school year, and I know it's going to be a quick turnaround now, getting to the end of the school year. So that is my report.
Okay, thank you, Superintendent Cruz. Next, we'll move on to communications from the Board of Education. We'll start with board member reports, and we'll start with Trustee Cooper.
All right, thank you. Just a recap, 2 weeks ago, I met with Ms. Black and the Cruz, talking about immersion programs, dual language immersion programs at Mill and Meadows. I have a tour coming up next week. I look forward to that. And then I went to Kennedy Elementary on the 16th. Totally enjoyed that. 17th, I went to Franklin Elementary. Love your passengers. I have some good pictures. We took some photos. And I will say that was, I shared this earlier, that was really, I felt really important. Then I had a student come up to me and came up to me, "Oh, Mr. Cooper, that's Mr. Cooper." It's like, hi. And she was telling her mom and her friends, "That's Mr. Cooper. He came to my class. He remembered me." So that made me feel really, really cool. And I also paid to get a picture with her. That was good. Then I went to Hellier, and today, that was awesome. Got to read to SDC K1. Yes, I did read Green Eggs in Ham. The kids loved it. So I'm going to be going to Meadows on Thursday. I'm looking forward to that as well. And I'm also looking forward to Marcus recognition of Coral Footstep coming up tomorrow. And then, I said it meant Meadows. So I've been active, but I love getting out, meeting the principals, meeting the parents, and as I just happened to meet the students, and sometimes they remember me. So that's really fun.
Okay, next we'll go to Trustee Stephen Sanchez.
All right, thank you. It was really informative going to the board retreat that we had on the 22nd February. Governance practices, protocols, goals. So that was very informative, especially as a new board member, kind of going over. So thank you from the superintendent and the experienced board members. On the 25th of February, I also attended the SCC SBA legislative brunch, which was very informative. We got to hear a lot of local and state legislators, right, that talked about future bonds coming up in terms of monies coming to school, how those are dispersed, kind of their goals for. That was really nice being able. I think every board in Santa Clara County had some representation. That was really neat meeting other members. And so for the next couple of weeks, I'm excited to visit some of the more of the sites, the Coral tomorrow as well, Meadows next week. So that should be really exciting.
Okay, thank you. Next, we'll go to Trustee Milan Valentin.
It's been a wonderful month. Happy Black History Month on the last day. It's been a wonderful, busy, productive month celebrating the history of the contributions of a community that I come from. I had the wonderful opportunity, as well as Trustee Cooper, attending Franklin's energy bus. They have a lot of energy over at Franklin. I had a great time meeting the families, as well as engaging with the staff, as well as educators over there. I also attended online Bishop Oscar Dace's funeral. He was a bishop in this area for a long time and contributed a lot to the San Jose community. I also was able to attend two trainings this weekend: the Progressive Leader Lab, which was a training for newly elected board members, as well as the SCC SBA luncheon, but I was on the virtual version. And I was able to listen in to the leaders and learning how this journey can go for me as a new trustee. So I really appreciate that. And I also attended the City of San Jose Black Flag Raising event, which happens always the second Friday of February. A new council member, Pame, District 1, she held it for the city. So it was a wonderful time, lots of attendees, and celebrating the contributions this month. And again, I look forward to visiting several schools this coming month for Women's History. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And next is trustee George Sanchez.
Couple of things. It was good to have the board retreat, kind of a refresher course for old timers like Rudy and myself, and then and the new members, Milan and Stephen. But it was very good. Also attended the legislative breakfast in Palo Alto. Held a little bit farther away this time around, but again, a lot of different speakers. One thing that did come out was the fact that in terms of the funding for education, it looks pretty solvent. Very good for at least the next 3 years. So that, who knows what the state coffers will be. At least we feel comfortable for that period of time. And we know how the ebb and flow of education funding goes, and I think Jason knows about that a little bit. So we'll keep our fingers crossed. Also attended the Santa Clara County School Boards Association, and they had the speakers for delegate assembly. So 11 positions, six are up for that, which is good to see a whole bunch of people. Sometimes you're hard pressed to find people. There are regions of California where the seats are empty there at the delegate assembly because nobody's running for these. But over here we have a lot of participation, which is very, very good. I gave my 2-minute speech. There was 11 of us. 6 will be elected. I gave my 2-minute speech, and Bonnie Mace, our director, said that he thought I had the best one. But having been a member there, I kind of knew what they're looking for over there in the delegate assembly. So see how that goes. That is my report. Oh, I am going to read on Thursday. I'm going to read at Franklin at 9 and 10 o'clock, and then after that, I'm going to go down Meadows. Read at 11 o'clock. So that's where I'll be this coming. Thank you.
Thank you. And then my report is I went and read at Hellier this morning along with Superintendent Cruz and Trustee Mark Cooper. And even though it rained and it was very cold, it was still nice to read to the students because they were very, very friendly and attentive. I read to a 4th grade class. And I read a book about an earthquake. So it was a young man's story about how he survived the 1906 earthquake in San Francisco. Of course, none of us were born, but the children were all like listening very carefully. What happened next? What happened next? And they wanted me to read the whole book, but it would have taken over an hour, so I couldn't finish it. I said, you're just going to have to go check this book out at the library if you want to read the whole book. But the young man, his name's Leo, is very interested in you learning more about him. So they were very excited. And I think the teacher's there's going to be some students fighting over that book because they really liked it. And I want to thank all the board members that attended the board retreat. We needed to have it. It was a little overdue. And we will have a makeup for any board members that missed it. So there will be an opportunity for it to be made up. But I do appreciate all the board members showing interest in it and wanting to attend. And that's it. And I will be going to other schools this week to read, because this is Read Across America week. All right, so we move on to agenda item requests. Are there any by the board agenda item requests? Seeing none, we'll go to item 12, future business. There is none. Future meeting dates. We have our next board meeting is on March 14th at 8 p.m. and we meet at what school? Prior to? We meet at a school. There's a parent meeting at school prior to that. So we'll get we'll get the name of it. Mm-hmm. And then after that we have our next board meeting on March 28th and then April 11th. And that will be in it. Both of the next two meetings will be here at the district office, no parent meeting. We do not need to go into closed session. So we'll move to adjournment. I will accept a motion to adjourn.
I'd like to make a meeting to adjourn this meeting at this time.
Motion.
A motion to adjourn at this.
Is there a second?
8 p.m.
I second that.
Been moved and seconded to adjourn the meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The meeting is now adjourned.